1 times 1. What'd you say? 1? It equals 1? Now, what would Newton say is that? Action times an action. That's a reaction, right? Anybody in here that thinks 1 times 1 equals 1, then you give me 2 pounds and I'll give you a pound back. An unbalanced equation. What we need to do is, the first thing in math is you're supposed to have a balanced equation. 1 times 1 equaling 1 is an unbalanced equation.
So I believe that 1 times 1 equals 1 and 2. You have to separate in your mind's eye the numbers from the symbols from the something. And when I think of mathematics, I look at the symbols, I think about the numbers, and then I think about the words. So 0 is nothing, right? So if I have nothing, and then if I divide that nothing by 1, I still have nothing because there's nothing to divide. So nothing divided by 1 equals nothing because there's nothing to divide. But if you have something and you divide that something by nothing, then you still have that something. You just don't have anything to divide that something with. So the answer is 1. Now, let's apply that same concept to multiplication. If you have something and you multiply that something to nothing, that something does not disappear. You still have that something. Something multiplied by nothing, you still have that one thing, that something. But if you have nothing and you come and say, I want to turn that nothing into 1, you can't because you have nothing to offer. So I believe that 1 times 0 is 1 and 0 times 1 is 0. This is the example that I used before. So when you multiply something to nothing, the number remains the same. But if you have one thing and you want to multiply those one things by individual numbers, then you take that one thing and you multiply it by 1, and now you have it 2. And you take that one thing and you multiply it by 2, and now you have 3. 0 is octave 2. So if you have nothing and you multiply that with something, you're still going to have nothing. But if you have something to start with, then the pattern changes. But 1 times 1, something times 1 is 1 and 2. So I believe that 1 times 1 equals 1 and 2. And if you look at it, you'll see the pattern begins. When you're flipping the numbers and they have different values every time you move the position, you start to see that action and that reaction that Terrance Howard was talking about. And then when you get down to the end, 9 times 1 equals 9. 1 times 9 equals a new infinity, because 9 is actually infinity. And I also thought it was cool because when you connect all the ones together, it makes a helix, like a DNA strand, like the number 8, like the infinity.